Welcome to the CEO of Destiny podcast, where you will find the tools to fulfill the purpose of your generation and wildly succeed in the marketplace. And now your host, Andre J. Benjamin.
So one of the things I really enjoy about your book is just the premises that you unpack in very basic language. Sometimes you read a book and people are up in the clouds in, ideologue land, like they're going back and forth with, I don't know who they're talking to, but I love the fact of how you unpack it and you just assume that the reader, and maybe it's because of what you said, because you're giving a narrative and you're putting a story around it. Maybe that's what it is being a great storyteller. But for me to be able to sit with my 11-year-old son, who's always like, okay, Dad, what, and when I come to say, hey, what are you reading? And then, he usually regrets asking me what I'm reading, right? Because it'll just glaze over. But when I showed him some of the things, because they ask a ton of questions, as you can imagine, especially once children start earning their own money from things that they do, because we don't do allowance. My wife and I don't do that because we would rather them there's household management of common chores that are things that we all do. It's just part of living in a household. And then there are, if you want to do extra things, like, hey, Mom, can I wax your car? Can I, clean your car out, vacuum it out, and then negotiate upon a price? We want them to develop that mindset rather than, getting a job and being paid. So anyway, with that being said, as they start to earn their own money and they go on Amazon, and Amazon sure gets a lot of their money because they've already scoped out some new Lego set or toys and whatnot. They start asking a ton of questions about money and what it does and what it is. And so I enjoy how you unpack that. Can you, one of the things that you really hit on is an overarching theme of the generational differences in understanding of economics and finance. Can you break that down a little bit? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I would first start with what is money a bit, and
yes, let's go.
Really, it's from Adam Smith and from the beginning of economics, money is just the idea of being able to store value for a later date, right? And it has to also serve a function, right? If we were still in the barter system, we would have a problem. It's called the double coincidence of wants, which means if I have 2 cows and I want 2 chickens, without money, I would have to go find somebody who has chickens and wants cows.
It's the same thing.
You're really screwed. It takes forever for that to happen. So there needs to be something in the middle that has value and that can be a unit of account that just happens through the free market and determines a price. It can't be given down a price or value. That's where fiat currency and where unsound money principles really come from. The value has to be set in the free market. And so first, we really need money to create an economy and to be able to transact. And when we can transact more, we can start to continuously improve. And that happens through scalability. Once you become more specialized in certain tasks, you can make more for that, and more people get specialized and they get better and better in that. And so things can become cheaper, people can make more money, and the economy will grow. And so money really is at the base of that possibility. And that's really the function of money. Anything else is taking away from really the function of money.
So the storage of value and a medium of exchange that provides almost a buffer between, it mitigates the double coincidence of wants, that people want the same thing at the same time, and they have to find a person with the exact same wants at this end with the exact same items exchanged, and it's a mess. The bartering system in that means is a mess. So it's to store value, because it's interesting that it's not almost how we treat money currently, which we'll get into.
It's a store of value, a medium of exchange, and then a unit of account, so that the free market determines how many cows you can buy with X currency, and so that is based on a free market. So yeah, those 3 things really are the function of money.
So That's interesting. So then now unpack a little bit about some of the terminologies that are used around us consistently, and just the generational difference in the understanding of those. And you unlock several of those, because when we say boomers, we're speaking of baby boomers. There's a great book by, I think it's Neil Strauss, Generations, that really kind of outlines different cycles of the generations and kind of the different priorities and values of each generation, and kind of where things could be headed based upon the studies that they did. But can you speak about baby boomers? And we'll talk a little bit about the greatest generation, and then I'm Generation X, I suppose, and my wife is Y. So
yeah, well, so there's a couple things. One thing that we have to really understand is that many of us, let's say in Generation X, learned about money from the baby boomers. And when the baby boomers learned about money, we had sound money. Okay, we had sound money then. So the idea of saving and the construct of business and what a loan was, that all meant something completely different than what it means now. So after 1971, when we went off the gold standard, we ended up with fiat currency, which is unsound money. And when you get unsound money or credit money, definitions change, right? For one thing, with commodity money, money is an asset. It's a commodity. Has value. When you go to fiat currency, you're going to a credit system, and so a dollar bill is actually a liability. It's a note, an IOU from a bank. And so everything gets ultimately settled at the Fed, right? Because they give credit to commercial banks give credit, and how you create
Federal Reserve. When you say the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, the Federal Reserve.
Keep going.
So literally how you create money is through loans. So when you get loans, a car loan or a house loan or any type of loan like that, money is getting created. And what happens when those get paid back or get defaulted, money contracts. And so those can be those deflationary events. And so money just operates very differently when it's sound money versus when it's unsound money. And so
when you say sound money, can you speak to that? What is sound money versus unsound?
Sound money is commodity money that a price has been determined by the free market. So we've used seashells before. We've used, primarily metals and primarily gold for, millennia. It's ultimately kind of come down to gold and silver. And there's a few reasons for that. But it's really that there's a commodity. I mean, something of value, and the value has been set in the free market. There really also needs to be a cost of production. Like, it can't be free to create new money. Like, if it's free, then it's going to cause problems. So that's sound money, commodity money. The other type of money, credit money or fiat currency, is unsound money. There is no cost of production. A central bank issues it and manages it, and it ultimately is a political entity. And unfortunately, if it's political, at some point, any human is going to try to get something for nothing. When that happens, and it's happened
not in America,
over and over and over. It's happened, at least 7 times, 8 times in the last 2,000 years. We've done this many times, thinking that we can get something for nothing. And then that ends up leading to disaster.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. Do us a favor. If this was useful in any way for you, please go to iTunes and leave us a review. Reviews will allow others to easily discover the podcast. If you'd like more information and to receive a free download, rediscover your destiny, go to CIOofdestiny.com. Thanks again, and tune in next time.